We'll let everybody know this is Schoolboy Channel 17, and we're here live at the Shape Community Center of Houston, being influential and implemental in Houston for years and years. And this is a member, elder, that is an affiliate, but she's not from Houston. And how I met her was I asked her a question on how she thought about Houston and the way the new Houston is, and we ended up talking, and I found out some very interesting information that I had no idea. I was only giving her a assistance, taking her out to the parking lot for her ride, but I ended up finding she's very interesting and a very historical lady to talk to, and it was just a blessing to meet her. And I'll let her tell you what her name is and kind of like how we talked and kind of what we, So what's your name? Introduce yourself to everybody. The
Betty
world.
W. Robinson.
Okay.
I'm going to put my mask on.
Okay, that's fine if you'd rather have your mask on.
Okay.
No worries. And I asked her if she was a Houston native, and she said no. I asked her about how she felt about Houston changing, and she said, I think she said she'd been here since the 80s or 50s.
I've been here since 1986.
86.
September.
But then she said, I've been all over the world, baby. And she said, she said Houston is one of her favorite places, but she's literally been out of the world. And she said she's been all over the world because she was what?
First black flight attendant for the United States Airforce.
She was the first black flight attendant in United States Air Force. So it's such an honor to talk to you. And tell me that story again about pretty much, what made you decide to do that?
When I made me decide to go in the Air Force, I graduated from high school in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 1955. And in 1955, my girlfriend and I, we did what she wanted me to keep her company while she took the test to join the military. And I said, I'm not joining the military. And she said, I'm not asking you to join. I'm asking you to go keep me company and hold my hand while I take that test. Because it is hard test. I went with her to hold her hand, and the recruiter talked me into it. The next thing I know, I took the test and passed it, and she failed it, and they sent me to San Antonio to basic training.
And where were y'all at?
And I was in Minneapolis, Minnesota, when I took the test where I graduated from high school. And I'm telling you, that was the beginning of the rest of my life, because that's where I met the man I've been married and got married and had 6 children. And it also was the place that I became, after basic training, they sent me to flight attendant school in Miami, Florida. I don't know if it was Miami Beach or outside of Miami, but it was in Florida. And so after basic training and flight attendant school, I got stationed at McGuire Air Force Base in Trenton, New Jersey. And that's where I met the man I fell in love with and got married and had 6 kids.
And it was all by chance.
It all happened, just like you said, by chance, but it was meant to be.
Right.
And that's how come I was able to go to school on my GI Bill, and I was able to travel all over the world and meet different people, and I met Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, and all those, because we took the entertainers all over the country.
And you were their stewardess.
I was an airline stewardess on the Air Force plane on what they call a C-118. It was like an old DC-6. And that took me all over the world.
Had you ever flown on an airplane before any of that?
No.
How was that experience? So how was it? You went in to take the test. How soon after you took the test were you gone? And you had to tell your family, it's just a whole chain. How soon did that take? How long did that take?
Well, after I took the test, I told my mother, and I went to basic training in San Antonio.
How
Texas.
long? Like a week later?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, yes,
must
ma'am.
have been very close.
Okay.
I had already graduated from high school.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And so I went and and went in the Air Force, and the best thing I ever did.
So what kind of this did you just? I know you faced all type of discrimination, or what type of? What I really want to know, what type of recognition did they give you for being the first black stewardess,
Well,
or was it? And I want to go there because you're a very fair skinned lady. Did they sometimes think that you were not black, or was it always?
I don't remember them saying anything about the color of my skin.
Wow,
I don't know if they did or not.
Wow.
They may not have.
Right. Well, that's great. That's not every story was how they said it was in history. You actually lived through it, and you can give another perspective and another.
Because I didn't get the experience even in high school, because I went to high school in Minnesota.
Okay, so you went up north, so it's different from our experience down south.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay. Well, that kind of makes me think about those stories when they call it the Great Migration, when so many blacks moved from the South. Right up, I'm talking about right after slavery and right after.
Well, let me tell you what happened in my background.
Okay.
Well, my great-great-grandfather was freed 10 years before Emancipation Proclamation, and he walked from Virginia to Ohio, and on the way, because his master freed him.
Wow.
His name was Gant, the last name. And so he was free, and he walked from Virginia to Ohio, and on the way he stopped at a what do you call it, where they have the slaves at? And he
Plantation?
Plantation. And he found the woman he fell in love with and married. And he went to take her, and we went to get her, and they moved to Zanesville, Ohio. And they founded, that's where my family began. And this was 10 years before Emancipation Proclamation.
Wow.
And you ever been to Chicago?
Well, no, I've never been, but like I say, I have family there, but I know a lot of them came.
You have to find out, Google the DeSabo Museum.
Oh,
First
yeah.
African American museum in the United States. It was founded by my mother's brother and his wife from Louisiana.
And what's the name of that museum again?
It's called DeSabo Museum.
And it's the first black African American
museum in this country.
in the United States.
And
Wow,
United
that's your
States.
uncle.
And you need to Google it, because I'm telling you, my mother's brother's wife is the one my mother took us to see when I was 5 years old. And when I was 5, and I'm 88 now.
Oh, yeah.
5 years old, my Aunt Margaret taught us what being black was all about, and the importance of accepting where you are, who you are, and where you come from.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm telling you, that helped me so much. And her husband, my mother's brother, was an artist. And guess what? My only son is a graphic designer.
Wow.
He inherited that.
From his
My
grandfather.
my father's second wife had a child.
Oh, that's
It's a
incredible.
boy, and his name was Mark Wynn. He was the first African American. He made films, and he played in a lot of movies, and especially in Netflix, the different movies. And you see him playing in Sons and Daughters of Thunder as Frederick Douglass.
Okay.
And he's an actor. His name is MarkWinn, and he is so much of my family.
Right.
His talent.
Right.
And my son has it too, being an artist. And I had 6 children, two sets of twin girls, and one of my girls had 3 girls.
2 sets of.
And the one daughter had 3 girls. Her oldest daughter, guess what? She's an actress on and off Broadway.
So you had 2 sets of twin daughters.
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible.
And one of my youngest set, one of them had 3 girls.
Wow.
And that's the only grandchildren I have.
So is that the one that just recently got her license for
nursing license.
Right.
And she was in the Navy.
And what's her name?
Her name is, I have to spell
Yeah, I'm
it.
just tripping on how you can recall all this information like that. I hope I can.
Okay, because I can't spell it. I'd have to text it to you
Yes, ma'am.
because it's really long. She married a Creole. They were in the Navy together.
Right.
And they're out of the Navy now, and they're living in Slidell, Louisiana.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're gonna see this interview. They're definitely gonna see it. It's gonna the channel See Houston Again. That's the YouTube channel. Channel 17 in Houston. That's the local media source. But everybody's on YouTube and everything now, so the whole world's gonna be able to see this. Especially when I tag the Air Force and let them see one of their first flight attendants. What year was that?
1955 to 58.
Oh yeah.
And let me tell you something. My daughter said, when we get off with him, I'm going to give you my daughter's number.
Okay.
She said, please call her.
Okay.
So she can give you some more background.
Oh yes, definitely. We definitely will. This is just the first. This is just our first interview. We're gonna do more. We just had a meeting with the elders. This y'all see a lot of the elders. The Shape Community Center, very important in Houston. This is a very historic place. This is very nice. I'm honored to be able to take part still. My mother was an original artist with the Lloyd Parker and the Barnes Blackman Gallery back at the Shape Center. My mama used to teach art at the community homes. She was an art teacher, and that's why I'm still around. I'm actually doing some volunteer service over here. They're helping me out, and I'm volunteering. And this is just another accolade. I was able to meet you, and like I said, I was just helping you take your wheelchair out, and I asked you what you thought. So we could talk. So what do you think about Houston and its diversity? And one of the meetings we were just talking about that, and that's a coincidence. The lady said that what can we do to keep Third Ward black? But you were expressing as someone, you have a different perspective because you're not a Houstonian, but you've been here since the 80s. So you didn't seen the whole change. And your first reaction was how you embraced the very multiculturalism of Houston. That's the first thing you said.
All, I like the, how do you say it?
Diversity?
I like the weather here
Okay.
in Houston. And I like the food is outstanding. And let me tell you, I like the multiculturalness of this town. People from all over the world here, all over. And I think it is beautiful. I've lived in many states, and I like Texas, all right, but I like Houston best of all.
Well, that's a good way to end this first interview. We're gonna talk a little deeper next time, more about maybe some of the experiences, and probably when I do that, let you refresh yourself, and then we'll kind of go over that. But again, tell them your name.
Betty W. Robinson.
And do they have any documentation or any stories on you with the Air Force? We need to.
I don't know.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna find out if they have your picture up. They need to have you.
My birth name, Betty Ann Rob Wynn, W-I-N-N. I got married, and so my middle name is my maiden name now, Betty W. Robinson.
Okay, so that's totally understandable.
And my husband is deceased.
Yes, we're gonna reach out to the. I'm already a part of the Veterans Association, especially here in Houston, vendor in the canteen, and we're gonna try to reach out and make sure that's notated and you get your due diligence and award. You need some type of award for that. So we're gonna.
I got a city in Houston. I've got some awards. I will bring them.
Okay.
When you come back, I'll bring the awards that I've received since I've been in Houston.
We'll schedule it. we'll schedule it for next week. And I also want to make sure that the whole United States government gives you an award for
Well,
being the
that's
first.
what I want to show you.
Okay.
I got an award. Last award I got was Al Green. But I'll bring the
Senator Al
awards
Green. Okay.
over for you to see. Or I'll text you pictures of them.
Okay. Well, this is C. Houston again signing out, Schoolboy Channel 17. And C. Houston again on YouTube. And we'll see y'all and get ready for part 2. Bye-bye.